Okay, here's what you, by the time you leave this class, here's the three things you should be able to do with the right triangle as far as trigonometry, okay? So we have this right triangle, gives you a good solid foundation for kind of trig, and some of the stuff he's going to do in geometry later. So the directions, you can't really read them, I apologize for that. It says find the three trig ratios of the angle, okay? So you remember those ratios are called. So sine, and the angle's theta, sine of theta, cosine of angle theta, and tangent of angle theta. That's how you set up the ratios. Now, label your sides A, O, and H. So across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. That is a 16 outside with it. Here's my theta sign. Across from that is the opposite. That really doesn't have anything outside. And then the adjacent side is my 5. Okay, so really I know two of the sides, but I would need the third in order to execute this process right here. Hold on a second. I got to get my sheet. I mean, I know it. I just want you guys to see what I'm going off of. Okay. So sine, cosine, and tangent, SOHCAHTOA. So I really need my third side, and I use a squared plus o to the second equals h to the second. Okay, so I know my my a is 5, so 5 to the second power, and the o is unknown, so that's x to the second power. Then h, 16 to the second power, is 256. RCA, sorry, I'm skipping steps. Okay, so that's 25 plus x to the second power equals 256. Okay, now with that done, we can get these two together. So I subtract 25 from each side. X to the second equals 231. Then I find the square root, but not just with the calculator. I need to see if, I'm going to use my calculator, but I need to see if it divides by any of the perfect squares. So 231 divided by 100 is a no. 231 divided by 81 is a no. 64 is a no. 49 is a no. 36 is a no. 25 is a no. 16 is a no. That's a no. That's a no. Okay, so what I do then is just leave it as a square root of 231 because I really need these ratios to be exact. Okay, now remember, sine is the O over the H. So the O I have the square root of 231, and the H I have is 16. The cosine of theta, that's A over H, so I know that A is 5 and H is 16. And tangent's the O over the A, so I know my O is the square root of 231, and my A is 5, okay? All right, because every one of these problems you see a right triangle, but you're doing different things, okay? Now my next problem is solve the triangle. That means I need to find the angles and the sides. It's right there for you, okay? So that's set up. Now I label my sides. So I have the hypotenuse right there. Okay, so now I don't have a theta sign, so I'm going to reference 42 degrees. And that is, don't ever reference 90. Always reference the other one that you know. So that is your opposite, and that's your adjacent. Okay, so let's do the angles. That's easy to do. Okay, you know you have a 90 degree and a 42 degree. And then you know they add up to 180, so I subtract 90 minus 42. So 180 minus 90 minus 42 is 48 degrees. Okay, now your sides are the outsides, and all I have is 18, so that's kind of a bummer. I only have one side, so I need to use my ratios to find the other two. Okay, now O has a number outside with it, but H doesn't, and A doesn't. So those both need to be paired with the O so that I can find it. Okay, it works every time if you arrange it correctly. Okay, so H and O. But is that sine? Yeah, it is. Okay, so sine. And then after it, we got to put our reference angle of 42 degrees over 1. And then remember, the sine is the O over the H. So O has an 18 with it, so I can replace that with 18. And H doesn't have anything with it, so I'm going to replace that with an X variable. Okay, so here's my X, so I multiply 1 times 18 to get 18. And then I'm write 18 down, underline it, and divide by sine 42. Okay, so 18 divided by sine 42 is 26.9, pretty much practically 27. Round however you want, doesn't matter. Okay, so A and O, well, it wouldn't be sine, it wouldn't be cosine, it would be tangent, because that contains both the O and the A. Okay, so tangent of the reference of 42 over 1. And then remember, tangent is O over A. Okay. So, O has an 18 to go with it. A, I don't really have anything to go with that, so that becomes the X. Now, here's my X again. 1 times 18 is 18. Underline it. And we're going to divide by the tangent of 42 degrees. Okay, I got 19, practically 20. 20 is good. Okay. So 18, 27, and 20 are how long the sides are, and these are my angle measurements. Okay, now the last one, you're finding how many degrees that angle measures. Okay, that's what you're finding. Now, it's easy to get confused because they look the same, but I'm not finding the 3 trig ratios. I need to know how many degrees that angle is. So that angle theta equals blank degrees. Okay, so there's my hypotenuse. Here's your reference is just theta, the theta symbol, and then A. Okay. All right, now I circle the sides I know. Okay, so O is 8 and H is 18. Okay, I don't have an A, so that's out of the question. I don't need to find it. Okay. Now, O and H, that's the sine function. So sine, parentheses, reference of theta. You don't need to put a 1 under it. And you know that that's the O over the H. Okay, well, we have a number with the O, so we replace that with 8. And we got a number for the H, so we replace that with 18. Okay. So my theta, I can find it if I move the sine over here, so it becomes negative first, and then 8 over 18. Okay, so it's called inverse sine. So second sine, negative 1 means inverse, and then 8 divided by 18. Okay, I got 26.3 degrees. You can just put 26. You can put 26.3, 26.4. Heck, you can put 26.38 or 39. I don't care. Okay, as long as you get a ballpark answer. Okay, and you have 3 to do on your own, so get those done.